everyone, I did it. Welcome to 31 Days of Halloween, doing October Daily MemoryDex style, and it is day 16. We are officially halfway through the 31 Days of Halloween, and I got all my videos recorded that I needed to get done. Then I still have all afternoon to pack. It's been a good day. It's been a good week, and I really enjoyed creating some of these MemoryDex cards. Now, I have this one pretty much put together. I'll tell you why I fell in love with this one by Crystal Omaker. She featured Pooh, and she had fun stuff. There's Piglet, there's a kitty cat. She's got fun, bright Halloween colors, and so this is what I went with. And these two here were what I went with my inspiration. I pulled out, I wanted to go with those fun colors, remember? So I pulled out this paper from the Spectrum Art Creations Hocus Pocus line. I like those purples in there and the blues, and I love the crackly texture that Wendy got in that design. Looks like she had just taken and squished plastic wrap across a mixed media surface, and I love that. So I'm going to squeeze this on here and get our background in place, and there's no glue right there. We need to make sure we have glue everywhere that's going to stick. Don't want this coming apart on us. Now, I chose to use the paper instead of the cardstock. I had it printed on both because I didn't want any more bulk to this than necessary, and I have some cardstock elements coming into play that are going to add to that weight. So I went with the paper weight on this. You can see if you come back and look, there's a little overplay, but that's because we have to position our paper to match up with our holes. I may just leave that one the way it is. I can always fix it later and not rush through it and mess it up. So in the meantime, I'm going to come back through and I'm going to dust the edge with our black soot, Distress Ink from Tim Holtz. And darken that edge and let that blend into that black background of my MemoryDex card. Now, I've been doing this where every other card is either black or white, and all the center ones are all black. So I have that. In fact, while we got that open, let's go ahead and dust the back of this and make that one blend in a little bit more. Not quite so bright. Okay, so I have that. Now, this one has a belly band on it, so I chose this broom pattern from Retired Stampin' Up! Toil and Trouble, and I'm going to take a little bit more of this off. An awful lot of white there, and I'm going to dust it with the soot too. Now, this has a mat to it. As you'll see here, I've got a piece of Highland Heather colored cardstock from Stampin' Up. And I know that's really wide, so here's what I did. And I cut it wide intentionally, so I could glue this on instead of having to measure. I could glue this in place however narrow I wanted it to be. And I've lined it up to where I'm almost completely even with the edges. I just wanted this white to pop a little bit. And then I'm going to come back in with my scissors and trim a little bit more of that off. And I probably should have used a paper cutter, but it just didn't seem like I needed to get it out. Okay, so now this is going to go on here. And I am going to glue it flat. It is not going to be a belly band type of pocket. It's just going to be a flat to the surface belly band. I love this broom paper, and I've never used it much because I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. But then I cut out the witch from Toil and Trouble, and I'm going to lay her on a piece of scrap paper here that I know I have, because doing this makes it easier to get into the nooks and crannies that would otherwise be hard to get to, like in between her fingers and across her arm. And okay, so now I have her, and I am going to put her on black cardstock. Let me see if I've got a scrap up here I can use. Because she's awfully thin. And I want her to have a little bit of weight behind her. And I've got scraps falling out of my folder up there everywhere. Pulled one of these out. Oh yeah, she'll fit on there. So let's go ahead and glue her down. And I'm just going to... And this is going to squish. And I'm aware of that. But it'll dry. In fact, I'll probably come in here and dust a little bit off of that leg. Because I don't need it quite so thick. I just need it to glue down. And I'm going to tilt her just a little bit. Now, you can make these as thick as you want. But this is a great way to make your own chipboard. If you have a paper element that you like, glue it to 1 or more layers of cardstock. Usually 2 to 4 will give you that. Once it's dry, you'll get that really bouncy sound of the chipboard. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to fussy cut this out as fast as I can. And see how we're doing. I managed to get a lot done last night after supper. I made sure I sat down and I enjoyed a seafood boil that I had been wanting all week, but by the time I got done during most days, I was just too tired. I just grabbed whatever was quick. I decided last night, since I was doing so well on the videos, I was quitting early. I got the couch cleared off so Bob can enjoy the couch while he's home. I got the dining room table cleaned off because I've been sorting and using that for a little bit of everything. And so I just decided I was going to sit down and I was going to have my seafood boil and I watched Hocus Pocus. And I just sit for 2 hours and just chilled. And I think it's really what I needed and able to rejuvenate to get the stuff done that I needed to do today. Now last night I had kit boxes to take out to the warehouse. And I got that done, got the warehouse switched around a little bit, some of the stuff in there. We bought a cabinet to put all of our patio furniture in. And I got the patio cushions out of the warehouse and into the cabinet that we bought. And all the while, little Fluffy Cat was following me around wanting to see what I was doing, and he's normally not that friendly. Although he is getting better with me, he will let me pet him. He loves getting his ears scratched, and he'll purr. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to have to start all over again after being gone for 6 days, but we'll see. He's not a man cat whatsoever, and I think Bob and I have come to the conclusion that we think he was abused. Especially if he thinks you're going to kick him. You move your feet too fast and he books. He thinks he's going to get it. So he's in survival mode. He's got a long way to go. But he's getting there. He's getting there. Now I know fussy cutting this probably was not the brainiest idea I came up with to do this on camera. I've got glue on my fingers, you know, because I always do. But I'm going to take and do this as quick as I can. I may not glue her into place so that I can come back and fussy cut her appropriately around her hands. I'll just rough cut this around and lay her in place so you can see. Because I still have to get into her fingertips. And I'm afraid if I try to hurry, I'm going to lop off her fingers. That wouldn't be very good. How would she hold on to her broom, right? So I'll get the rough part done here. I'll see if I can get up here. Now here's a trick. If you've got to get into some place like between flower petals or like into these arms, cut up as close on one side. Come back and do the same on the other side. Oops. And if it doesn't come out like that, lay it on a surface and use your pokey tool to pull it out, and that works beautifully. Wipe that one off. Now see, there's that one that didn't come out, so I'll lay it down stick my pokey tool in there, and I got rid of that from between her fingers. Okay, and then we're going to come back here. I'm just going to turn around here and get up here close to her hair. I wanted to come in with the grass scissors and give her hair some edging, but it was just too tight of an area and too big of scissors to get in there with. And now I got to come back here and trim this out a little bit. And I've got my own hair in here. And I'll just kind of come up here between her hair, come down here around her fingers. And I know it's hard to see when you see what I'm doing when I'm cutting something small. And I'm trying to keep it to where you can see most of what I'm doing. But most of you know about fussy cutting and know how you need to have it up close and personal if you're going to accomplish what you're after anyway. So, okay. Get that out of the way. I think I can trim those fingers up just a little bit, and then we can glue her down. Let's do that. I just don't want to clip her fingers off, and her hand isn't really sticking to that. Must not have got glue all the way to her fingertips or on her arms. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there, smear it out, and then I come back and press her hand into place. Yeah, and I'll have to let that dry before I can come back and do that. Okay, so we have our belly band. We have this. The other thing I had was this one had like Trick or Treat, or this one had Trick or Treat, and I liked this. So I went in and I found one from the Cart Bella collection. And it says, I wish you a happy Halloween, but it just didn't jump out at me. So what I decided to do, and I'm doing it with you, is I'm going to trim this up really close because I don't want the chocolate border. So I'm going to trim it down, and that will help make it a little smaller. Okay, just like that. Come back in with my miniature round punch, and I know I'm getting a little close to those letters, but it's okay. It's only paper. It's only paper. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on here. I'm going to glue this down first. Actually, let me dust the edge first. And I'm just going to do it lightly. I don't want to get too involved here. But I've taken that and rounded the edges. I'll come back with my glue. Now I'm going to glue this flat to the yellow, okay? Just like that. With just a scarce border around there. Okay, and then I can come back, trim this off. Just like that. And then I can punch this one off. Where did I do with my little punch? Okay. And then this one I'm going to pop up on dimensionals, and I will pop her up on dimensionals. I'm still trying to get glue off my fingers so I can touch stuff. I will flip this over, and I'm going to put a dimensional. Now in this one, I'm not going to worry about a springboard thingy in the center. It's not going to be a card. It's not a big piece. These are going to cover most of that. And so we're going to burnish those down good so that they stick good. Peel our paper backings off. Now I'm going to reiterate, I have tried to make sure that everything is on the computer. I couldn't really save anything to the camera for the next 16 days, so I'm trying to make sure that everything is saved to the laptop. I have them all in their days. I've double checked to make sure the video is there and that it is the correct video. That's the tricky part. We had that happen a couple of weeks ago, so okay, I'm going to come back in now. She's dried a little bit, and I'm trying not to lose her fingers, but it's getting touchy there. Okay. Okay, close enough. And then we're going to pop her up too. One behind her head, a couple on her skirt. Her legs are going to dangle. She's going to be like Lily Tomlin in the big rocking chair. Her feet are going to dangle. Anybody remember that sketch, Lily Tomlin? Okay, and then we can put her right here. And then we can come in and put our day 16 in place. Okay. And there we have it. This one was a slightly longer video. I'm okay with that. And I just dropped that. Did not drop that in the trash can. I think I'm tired. I think I need a snack and a brief sit down before I do anything else. But here is our day 16 with nice bright colors, except for that. And I'd love to have had that in brighter, but it just didn't come that way. So our 16 days of Halloween done, doing an October daily MemoryDex style. I hope you'll come back tomorrow when I will be home and we will have day 17, and then we're going to start getting the weekend in line to where everything is the way it's supposed to be. So thanks for joining me in the studio today, and thank you for your patience this past week while I was at the Writers' Conference. I do appreciate it. Remember to like, to share, subscribe, and click the notification bell because we're only halfway through this crazy ride and you don't want to miss how it ends up. Creative blessings.